just going to shuffle the cards a little bit first to get all the negative energies out. And then actually you can shuffle too for a minute or two.
I should probably sit closer to this table, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, and because I've done your reading once before, the first time they're face up, but thereafter, each time they're face down.
Right. So I'm picking them based on my intuitive impression at this point.
Yeah, and the cards are picking you.
So it's kind of cool.
Cool.
It is.
Okay, now, we're going to lay them out. And we're going to be doing 4 rows of 7, which is 28 cards. And what you're going to do to pick the 7 different cards, hold your hand over each one, and the temperature or feeling or emotion or whatever that you get out of whichever one sticks out to you the most, whether it's positive or negative, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's just something that comes out in that card.
Okay. Just making sure that I get all the cards. That's the one.
Okay.
That's number 1. I'm going to go around in a different way this time. Perhaps it'll help to close my eyes and just kind of...
Yeah, close your eyes. And usually when we start getting into the explanation of each card and the position that it's in, some people like to write down to keep track, almost like have a diary or a journal of how the readings went and to see how accurate.
That's 6, right?
Yep, one more.
You know, that's something I've been coming back to again and again in these classes, actually, is magical journal. Journal everything. Journal everything. I should have done it with the first reading, and I don't have my journal with me here today either, so... That's the one. Last one, of course.
Okay, I'll put these here. Get these out of the way.
The last time that Wayne did this reading for me, I cried and I got angry. It was pretty awesome.
Yes, these readings will tend to bring out emotions. Okay. And I'm laying them out in a certain pattern.
And what does the pattern represent?
It's different. The sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Uranus, and Pluto.
Excellent.
And they represent different aspects of your personality, of your past lives, your experiences, and that sort of thing.
Right.
And the first one that we're going to do is, this is the sun position.
The sun's a lot like a sun sign in astrology, or... Well, I remember there was a good explanation.
Yeah, and I usually explain the position first, and then I'll get into detail with the card. The sun position, how do you now see yourself? What is your essence? Where is your strength? In what ways do your peers presently view you? What type of energy do you currently generate? That's just the type of aura that you give off.
Right.
Now the first card is Mind Jaguar Priest.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Okay. Mayan Jaguar Priest. Strange and unusual impulses are entering your imagination.
Okay. Ooh, does that sound like I know what it's talking about? Okay.
Probably.
Cool.
It is important that you not suppress these odd thoughts.
Excellent.
For they are sparks of genius. Be careful to avoid outbursts since your emotions may be especially volatile at this time.
I was a basket case of fury today.
Pay close attention to ideas that are especially advanced. They are glimpses of the future.
You get those a lot too.
I do.
This is a time when you can make dramatic changes in your life.
And you do.
Fantastic.
Although others may not recognize the person you are now, a stronger, sharper self is emerging.
That's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That is cool.
Cool. Yeah, so
That's very
changes.
exciting, especially considering the last reading. When you do the reading initially, you pick cards based on what you feel about the pictures, and if you have a strong emotional connection, they're all face up originally, and you pick the ones that you feel a strong emotional connection with. And some of them I felt really positive about, and some of them I felt really not positive about. And it was interesting. The general theme of the reading was basically I'm still waiting for, the big change, what I'm here to do, more or less. And I was getting very frustrated because it felt like everything was aligned against it. So this is like, it's here! It's come! You're ready! Okay, awesome.
Okay, now the next position is the moon position. It's basically about wisdom that you've either garnered from your past or your present life. What wisdom have I gleaned from the past that affects my present life? What are my habits? What unconscious urges does your soul presently radiate?
It's also your hidden self, because it's the dark side of the moon that we never see.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, now what is this one?
Mitch and Wayne are kind of tag teaming this. Maine.
Oh, that,
We call them Witch and Maine, actually. Sometimes it's funny. But Wayne is doing the reading primarily, and Mitch is throwing in her 2 cents. And I'm sure Shanna will when she thinks of it, too.
and this one is the Hopi Kachina mask.
Interesting. I don't even know what that represents. I've never seen that before.
It's
Southwest natives.
Southwest natives.
Neat. I don't know anything about them. That's fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, moon, okay. Now, the Hopi Kachina mask is especially important in the Mercury position.
Oh, we're in the moon, though.
Oh yeah, we are in the moon.
Interesting. Everything happens for a reason, right?
Yep, exactly. So it has a crossover
I think
there.
you should read both.
Yeah,
You should really read both.
Okay, I'll read the moon one
yeah.
first.
yeah.
Hopi Kachina mask. The soul radiates the need to avoid conflict.
Ah, yes.
This card choice in the moon position indicates a sustained period of peace and regeneration.
Oh, thank the gods.
It is,
I'm ready!
it is a time to enjoy your own company.
Yay!
You are feeling inordinately sensitive to all life forms right now, including the forces of nature.
Absolutely
Of course.
true.
Animals and pets can sense this ability and are drawn to you. It is a beneficial time for you to work with both plants and animals.
Great! I'm gardening again. Rowan sucked me in. I'm finding the time. That's great.
And I guess we might as well read the Mercury position too, just to see what it says. Where was it?
Now, this is something I'd actually like to point out here because this is why it's important to achieve at least a partial trance when you're doing a psychic reading. Intuition. Everything happens for a reason. for some reason, Wayne started reading the section on Mercury, even though this particular image was in the moon position. So there must be a reason for that. It's something that intuitively he knew. So now we're going to hear the Mercury explanation. Maybe there's two different symbols that have a bearing on my Mercury aspect at the moment. So yeah, I can't wait to hear why. Yeah.
Okay, the Hopi Kachina mask is especially important in the Mercury position since it reveals that you're able to instill confidence and encourage others to believe in their own abilities.
Cool.
Yeah, that's so true.
This card shows compassion. It is the sign of a polite, refined, and cordial mind.
Oh, well. That didn't
There
really
is-
go well. No, I'm kidding.
There is nothing base or insensitive in your nature. You are able to relate to all sentient beings, and your speech is soothing, but you are also an enigma.
Cool.
Although you can understand others, few can truly know you on an intimate level.
That's true. Yeah, I cop to that.
Yeah.
So what do you make out of that? Having to...
You know, astrologically, when I did my astrological chart, I thought this was the most interesting thing. You know, I never had much respect for astrology for a long time because you read that stuff in the paper, right? It's like, what is this crap? Right? But then you do your whole chart and it's amazing what you learn. And I relate that to my Saturn is in Cancer. Saturn is the planet of karmic challenges and, difficulties, obstacles in your life. Saturn being in Cancer, it's in its detriment. It's basically as shitty as it gets, right? It is. It's the worst possible thing that it can be in. Saturn, or Cancer is about nurturing and feeling nurtured. And I often in my life have felt very much alone. And often people have misinterpreted me when I've meant to be nurturing and positive. I instead come across as harsh and, kind of blunt and nasty. And so, but knowing that helped me. I went, okay, obviously I just feel like I'm doing this alone. Obviously it's me and people really do care. And I keep that in mind, and it's made my relationships much easier, and I have a much better time, and I feel much less alone in life. I don't feel unsupported anymore.
That's good.
So I think it kind of relates to that. Guess I'm difficult to get to know, and
Everyone wears a mask, right?
it's okay
Yes, and there's
because
one right here.
Exactly.
the friends that I have in my life, like the people in this room, are really valuable to me, and I know that I can trust them completely, and that's good. I'd rather have quality of friendship than quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way too. Okay, now here's the card that is in the Mercury position.
And neat.
Ooh.
Show it to the camera.
This one is, where are we here? Islamic Crescent and Star.
Ooh. Have you been able to get images of these cards so far, Shanna? Okay. I'll hold up the other two. This is the Mayan
Jaguar priest.
Jaguar Priest, and this is the Hopi
Kachina mask.
Kachina mask. Yes, everybody wears a mask, right? Okay. We'll try to remember to pull them up one at a time now as we do it.
Okay, now this one is in the Mercury position.
First, let's hear what Mercury's all about.
Yes. What are your current thinking patterns? In what way do you reason or discriminate?
Mm-hmm.
How are you presently communicating with others? What is the hidden power of your mind?
Got it. Okay.
Okay, and this is Islamic Crescent and Star. Your psychic capacities are now stimulated.
Good!
I hope so.
That's great!
What is hidden fascinates you the most.
Yep.
Others are compelled to avoid surprising, clandestine secrets concerning associates in your intimate circle.
Can you read that again? Sorry, it didn't compute.
Me too.
Others are compelled to reveal surprising, clandestine secrets concerning associates in your immediate circle.
Right, so things that people have been keeping from each other and from me, they now feel compelled to reveal. Okay, that's cool.
Keep this information under lock and key.
Right, confidentiality.
If any of it gets out, guess who will be blamed?
Yeah, blame the messenger.
You are now generating an aura of mystery. Others may think you are up to something even when you're not.
That actually directly ties to that mask thing too.
Yes, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, what he just said, that others think you're up to something when you're not, that can also apply to when you have had bouts of being lonely in the
Right.
past, right?
Right.
And people assume that you come across as harsh.
Right.
That can apply to that too.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, only the most fascinating people are the source of rumors.
Yes.
Shy away from situations your sixth sense warns you to avoid.
Trust my intuition.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Message taken.
Okay, now we get on to the Venus position. This one is basically about love, whether in yourself and in others. How can you create a more beautiful life for yourself and others? How do you relate as a lover? In what ways do you bring peace and harmony to the world? How can you further develop your creativity and aesthetic sense?
Cool.
Now, let's see what the card is.
Ooh.
Ooh, this one is
Neat.
Renaissance Angel.
Renaissance Angel. Cool.
Very sad card looks. I love it though, but it's sad.
Very intriguing that
looking.
the Judeo-Christian stuff is appearing here, actually.
Prepare to meet the person of your dreams.
Haven't I already met that guy?
The Venus position indicates a period when you will be romantically smitten.
That's cool.
Relationships move to a higher, more harmonious level.
Awesome.
There is a strong possibility that you could meet your soulmate at this time.
Fair enough.
This is an especially creative period when your ideas are absolutely inspired.
Nice.
Great. That connects very nicely to everything else that I'm currently trying to do. Cool.
Mhm.
And my love life will be awesome. Fantastic.
You are attracting other spiritual seekers who will help you advance in your quest.
Cool.
Stay receptive and open. Soon you will feel as if you are gazing into a mirror. Enjoy the experience. It doesn't happen often.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That's very encouraging too. I imagine if you feel that you've already met the one, right, that relationship can improve and your relationship with others can improve as well. That's awesome. I can fall in love with him again. Yeah.
Sure you can.
Okay, and the next one is the Saturn position.
Right.
And like you said earlier, it's the karmic balance, that sort of thing. How do you presently limit and restrict yourself? In what way can you better formulate your goals? What karmic memories and gifts do you possess that you can now teach others?
Cool.
What are the temptations of your lower self? And what kind of card do... Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
That is so
neat.
her.
Let me see. Let me see.
Wow.
the prehistoric sorcerer.
Yeah.
Yeah, every witch out there recognizes this symbol.
Yeah, especially in Saturn.
That is so her.
How interesting that this is the karmic challenges section and the, stuff like my interactions and my social connection and my romantic involvement is all Judeo-Christian this week.
You are driven by compulsive forces or a sense of mission.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You have so much creative energy and drive that you often lose sight of your original goals.
Yes.
Learn to understand what motivates you. See, this is the same thing as what we were talking about the last reading as well.
Right.
The focus on that which you feel most comfortable with.
Right. And drop the crap that is not serving me.
Yeah. Learn to understand what motivates you. Don't be afraid of your darker impulses, but be aware of negative powers entering your life.
Yes.
Your gifts are energy and wisdom. Life must be meaningful and exciting, or it is nothing at all.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I really agree.
Interesting.
So then there's that, once again, that admonishment that I'm no good at of put down some of the damn bricks. Okay.
Plus because of your profession, I mean, you own a metaphysical store, so you're gonna get people from all walks of life that carry all kinds of energy too, right?
That's
So,
true.
yeah.
Negative energy is an occupational hazard. Sure is.
It's not that you're not good at certain things, it's just that you're better suited in other things.
Right.
You have stronger talents in other things, so focus on those.
Understood. I think I actually do really understand what that's about now. Yeah. I think that's probably telling me to let some of the mundania of the way the shop is run go and let somebody else do that. Because
Yeah.
I can do it, but
Learn to delegate.
learn to delegate more effectively. Concentrate on the things that really motivate me, like my writing and doing these classes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mm.
Got it. I
Okay.
think I got it anyway.
The next one is Uranus, and that is how can you awaken the genius of your true potential? What makes you unique and sets you apart from others? How can you learn to integrate your talents and gifts through knowing others? What kind of friend are you? And it is
My favorite card.
Interesting.
the Gypsy Amulet.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Actually, I want to keep this one set aside.
Oh, I'm
'cause
sorry.
that's-
Okay.
This is the Saturn position. It's
Oh, I
The
see.
karma card, yep.
just so I know, so
Fair
I
enough.
remember.
Fair enough. Sorry.
Okay, so the Gypsy Amulet. Your mind is sending out and receiving lightning bolts of inspiration.
Yeah.
Yep.
This card selection signifies great originality on the mental plane. Get ready to link up with some ingenious insights and revelations.
This has been a theme of this particular reading. Ride the wave of your muse is the message I'm getting. here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You aren't thinking like other people right now.
Do I ever? Maybe I do.
So expect some people to oppose you for a while. It's important that you stand your ground.
Mm-hmm.
Others will eventually become accustomed to your way of thinking. It's also a good time to develop a new angle on any occult studies.
Interesting.
Very interesting. That is really cool.
A new angle.
Fantastic. That's great.
Awesome.
I love it. I'll have
That
to
was
take
interesting.
that. That's something I really need to consider. Yeah, maybe.
A new angle. A new approach. New angle.
Yeah, study a different tradition. Maybe I've done a lot of work in Wicca. Maybe it's time to go back to some ceremonial magic or do what I was considering, which is take up the practice of voodoo. Who knows? Interesting. Yeah, I'll be open to the possibility.
And the last position is the Pluto position. It's basically about obstacles.
Okay.
What are your current obstacles? In what ways might you be too forceful?
As Wayne gives me a fixed look as he knows exactly. Yeah, right.
How might you be better understood? What is the deepest nature of your psychic gifts? How can you continue to transform yourself and the world for the betterment of all?
Okay.
And
Chinese bear.
Interesting.
Very, very interesting.
So your muse is Aaron.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting out of that, because
Yeah,
that's his
yeah.
totem.
yeah,
Well, you know, he really is in many ways.
yeah.
And you were probably a Chinese girl at one time.
We had that discussion recently, didn't we?
Yep.
Okay, Chinese bear. Your perceptions are right on target.
Okay.
Little escapes your careful scrutiny.
Yep.
You may become involved in some type of intrigue that could ensnare you in a dangerous web.
Alright, I'll have to watch for that.
Now is the time to maintain your distance. It isn't always bad to be aloof or uncommunicative. Anything you say now could be used against you.
Got it.
In the court
Your
of law. In the court of law.
That's right. Got it.
Yeah, you are feeling the urge to transform your life and put things in a new order.
Wow.
Prepare for new ventures that transform old ways of thinking.
You've had that twice, sort of thing. Prepare for new adventures, new ways of thinking. The other card, I think 3 cards back, talked about take on a different angle, a different approach.
Yeah,
Yeah, get ready for big freaking change is what
You've
this
had
says to
3
me.
cards that talked about change, getting ready, yeah.
yeah.
This is
That's
the kind
good.
of thing. Well, it can be, but change can also be a little scary when it's really sudden and really dramatic, and it looks like it's going to
Sure,
be.
but you're the type of person too that will tie a line to your butt and just jump into the void and take that chance.
Yeah,
That's what life's all about.
I never used to be, but I've learned to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And what else are you going to do? You can't stop it. So you might as well ride the wave.
Yep.
Okay, and getting back to the prehistoric sorcerer, this
Right.
was in the Saturn position.
Right.
So we go into a little bit more detail on the aspects of it coming in the Saturn position.
And that card is
The prehistoric sorcerer.
Yeah.
If you have chosen this primitive symbol of the prehistoric sorcerer as a past life symbol, you feel a kinship with the most ancient souls who lived on this planet.
Really? I didn't know that. Anyway. Sure. Cool. Yep.
You have a keen interest in the occult, hidden knowledge, and magic of any kind.
Really?
No, really?
I'm not putting together a whole series of DVDs about magic to teach it. Anyway.
You have a finely developed imagination and ability to visualize events before they happen.
yep.
Yeah, I do.
This sense of vision allows you to imagine both the past and the future.
Mm-hmm.
Like so many other artists and creative people, you are visually oriented.
Yes.
Yeah.
You will be attracted to the way something looks before you need to know what makes it tick.
Yep.
You understand intuitively that what is seen on the outside is only a manifestation of what is felt on the inside.
Yep.
Right.
We don't know her at all, do we?
No.
There is a tendency toward earthiness, but you are keenly aware of spiritual forces that surround you.
No. Really?
I try very hard actually to maintain a balance. I really do
You do.
believe that life here is about balancing our physical aspects and our spiritual aspects. Yeah.
Mhm. In fact, your psychic skills are strong enough that there are times when you seem to have an almost X-ray vision.
That's come up a couple times too. Yeah.
You may see or sense an illness in another body before you ever were told about it.
Often, actually. Yeah.
And that's probably because of your Reiki too.
Yeah. Definitely,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
gotten stronger since I took my attunements for sure.
Yeah. You can be a wonderful judge of character, but that doesn't mean you always listen to your own advice.
No, sometimes I really am kind of dense that way.
You can do it for others really well,
Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear
but
that.
most of us can't do it for ourselves. It's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you
Conflict
see,
of
that's
interest.
what you guys are around for, right? To go, hey, Sable, listen, you're an idiot. You said do it this way, like last month when I was having this problem. So why aren't you doing it? That's what you're for. Throw my words back at me. It's good for me.
When you are involved with people who are not as honest as you, you are much more tolerant than you should be.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You are
Way too much.
way too tolerant.
Way too tolerant.
That's very
Yeah.
interesting considering the events of today. Okay.
You may even tell yourself that it's your pity and sense of humanity at work.
Then that's exactly what it is. It's
Well,
sense of
no, it
humanity.
says I tell myself that.
Yeah, but that is it.
I'm a writer. I notice that kind of stuff.
You like to help others out of bad situations and you see this as a challenge, but you're also motivated by a fascination with power and both positive and negative.
That's true. And I'm really, actually, it concerns me. I worry about people using power over as opposed to empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to be aware that you can lose yourself in shadowy forces as well as the forces of light.
See, that's the thing, right? When empowerment becomes, the need to feel, to trip out on it, right? That's where the problem is. And yeah, of course, everybody
Yeah.
who is concerned about empowerment sometimes gets a fat head. And I'm pretty, I think I'm very cautious about getting a fat head.
Yes,
I try
you
very
are.
hard not to, but I do recognize that it is a threat.
I think most of the time when that happens with people, it's because they're not emotionally all there. They're not thinking right,
It's
and
true.
then the power gets to them,
Or their ego gets in the way.
or something gets in the way. They're not thinking right.
That's the big challenge I
Yeah.
think we all have in our lives
But
is
we
to
all have
overcome the
choices.
issues of our egos. Yeah. Good or bad, positive or negative, low or high. So, yeah.
You have an insatiable curiosity about religions and the occult.
Yes. Oh, did we hear that again? Yes.
However, you are also skeptical and most likely do not actually believe much of what you read.
Yeah, I do tend to put it all to the test. It's true. I don't take anybody's word for it. I put it to work and see what I think. Yeah.
You may even question your own psychic experiences, mulling them over in your mind with a fine-toothed comb. You are naturally curious.
Yep.
Your inner drive will force you to attain something of great significance in your lifetime.
Let's hope so.
It is possible that you are already recognized for some unusual belief or creative discipline.
No, you think?
However, you need to learn restraint and not push too hard with some of your opinions.
Yes, it's true.
Your immense will power can get out of hand, and you could easily make enemies this way.
And often do. Yep.
On the other hand, you do influence people, and if you decide to carry others along on your route to personal success, you will remain well liked and well known.
Yep, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
It's no fun unless other people are coming along for the ride.
Yeah.
On a surface level, you appear complex to others. There are times when you may feel defeated before you begin a new project.
Yeah.
The immensity of life seems overwhelming to you. There is a sense of maturity and wisdom about you, regardless of your biological age.
Yes.
That's good to know.
Oh yes.
Well, thanks.
Oh yes.
Mhm.
That's so true.
You have faced some major setbacks in your life. You are not a person who gets things by luck alone.
No, never have. Have had to feel. I feel that I've had to fight for everything.
You've had to work
Yes.
for it. Yeah.
Whatever comes your way comes through diligence and hard work. Yet, because of your determination, it is likely that you will go much farther than many of the people with whom you surround yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's no fun. They're supposed to come with me. Okay.
Yeah.
If a person were to sum up your personality in just one word, it would have to be depth.
Oh yes.
Neat.
Yeah.
Your thoughts and feelings may seem so complicated and deep that it is hard for you to understand yourself.
Yep.
This may well be one reason why others tend to misunderstand and misread you.
Yeah, it's true. If I'm not communicating effectively what I actually think and feel, how can others be expected to
And
interpret
that's
that
both
properly?
in verbal and body language too, because you may be saying one thing and your body is saying something totally different.
Mm-hmm.
And 90% of the time people pick up on the body motions, not what you're saying.
Which is interesting because, it doesn't necessarily, a lot of people do this, right?
It's
You know?
defensive.
Yeah, and it's not, it might not be defensive. A lot of people just do this to relax, right? They're just resting their arms.
Or they have no pockets.
Or they have no pockets or whatever, right? But we all
Yeah.
interpret it that way, right? So, or I've learned different postures which, probably are confrontational because,
And plus, when you
Yeah.
cross your arms too, you're blocking your solar plexus
yes,
And your heart chakra.
and your heart chakra.
your emotional connection and your
Yeah.
sense of self.
Yeah.
As you begin to understand your own motivations and thoughts, your personality will begin to transform into something entirely new.
I've already seen that a lot in my life. Yeah, because the more you become aware of
Mm-hmm.
who you really are. I actually think this is the most important real work of anybody who's going to practice a magical path. Know thyself. That's what
Yeah.
they said.
Yeah.
It was written on the gates of Eleusis.
You may well feel as if there is something unexplainable and mysterious that continues to push you forward from somewhere deep inside. You are rarely satisfied.
That is the truth. There's
Although-
always something bigger and better I can be doing. Yeah.
Although you are fascinated by dark forces as well as light ones, you must learn that successful magic by itself does not necessarily indicate authentic spiritual development.
Yeah. No, actually, I think I've already got that message.
Yeah.
Just because you're capable of enforcing your will on the world does not mean that you are spiritually advanced. There's no question about that.
True psychic ability is not merely a power, but a feeling of empathy and sympathy, an intuitive understanding of everything around you. It is the source of all life and stems from an ability to love unconditionally.
Good advice.
what is powerful and stirring is not necessarily good.
Yeah, it often isn't, actually.
You have a psychic ability and an unusual wisdom gained through countless lives. People may seek your counsel, for you can make them feel what is generally considered sinful.
Yup, you do.
Well, why, right? The question is, why is something sinful? But we'll get into that in class 7.
Well, especially when people come into your shop, and they're searching for herbs for a spell or whatever it is that they're asking for. They come into you for advice a lot, right? I've even seen that. And, you tell them, do whatever it is you want to do, but harm none, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard you tell that to people, but it's, when they walk out that door, they have their own choices.
Yep.
Whether they follow your advice or not. And I know that that bothers you with people out there, because you know what's out there. You know about the forces that are out there. And the card in that Saturn position was talking about that you have a real deep feeling for other humans, at large. And it just bothers you that because you know what's out there. And if people choose to be idiots,
It bothers me when
It
people
bothers
choose
you.
to hurt each other.
But-
I don't really understand why people
Yeah.
want to do that. I don't understand it. I mean, yeah. I understand. I honestly think that a lot of it comes out of fear. I
Yeah.
think more evil is perpetuated by fear than anything else. And it's
Yeah.
why I agree with the Azatru when they say that courage is one of the most important virtues you can develop, because then you would not act out of fear. It's the whole Jedi thing, right? Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. It really is the truth.
yeah.
So if people would not be afraid and just act authentically, right? And that's part of why I do this, right? I try to teach people to not be afraid, to feel empowered, to do, to their own will in the world and not acquiesce to the wills of others. And that's why I do it. Yeah, because I believe that they'll do more good in the world, and the world will be a better place if we all do that.
That's right.
You accept others no matter who they are, as long as they like you. Oh no, sorry, as long as you like them.
I'm like, okay.
That's true, though.
Yeah.
As long as you like them, especially if you feel you can learn from them.
Yes.
You have a mind that constantly soaks up knowledge, and you feel a great affinity for many different periods of time.
Yes. Oh,
yeah,
man.
wow, that's incredible. I'm so glad we were recording this, because even, whether, I don't know how much of this is going to make it into the class, but for me, personally, that was fabulous, so.
You want to know something else? The cards that you chose,
Yeah.
Wayne put them down the table from left to right, 4 rows of 7. The ones you picked up, I marked them all down, 16, 19, 20, etc., etc. When you add them all together, numerologically speaking, it equals a 4, and you're a 4.
Yep, I am a 4 numerologically. That's fascinating. I wonder
That
if that's
is
true for
fascinating.
everybody. That's cool.
That is fascinating.
Thank you very much, guys. That was excellent. I really enjoyed that. These are great.